And what we're going to do today, we're going to start off today's penguin feed with some hand feeding for the king penguins, which we're going to do just down here in the main part of the enclosure. And we'll finish off this afternoon up at poolside getting the Humboldt penguins having a swim as well. We will also be joined by our free-flying macaw, who's just on the aviary over there. Now Benji is orange and blue. She thinks she's a kingfisher and she might come and try and steal some fish. Now if she lands on the wall, just give her a wide berth. She is the second nastiest animal in the entire park. So if she lands over, she just wants to fish and I'll get her out of the way. And this afternoon, whilst we're feeding the penguins, we've got Deborah doing the hard work of feeding the birds for us. So she's the one who's going to get a little bit fishy for 20 minutes. I've just got the very easy job today. I'm going to tell you a bit about penguins in general. And more importantly, we're going to introduce you to the film star and the TV star in the group as well. But so we'll just make our way in and get set up. And we'll make a start on the talk for you in a couple of minutes, folks. Typically, this is the grumpy one that touched me, so I'll get him out of the way. But he's alright, he's just done like everyone walking ready. So, just come this way, penguins. So if you come on through and up, I'll close the gate behind you once we're in Deborah. So they'll follow the bucket. So if you follow me, we're just going to head to this little rock just down here and get them set up. Come on, penguins. So if I get you standing around this side. So this is sharp, this is the young one. She'll probably sit by the but basically just feed them. Just pump them stuff in the bucket. Nice firm grip near the head. Nice and high. They'll look up at it if they want it. And it's just lowering it down to them. You can try to swipe this down here. You just hold on to it until it's so high in the mouth. They'll do the hard work to swallow it. So say they get you on the fingers, they don't have teeth, they're not going to do any real damage at all. I think they give you another one, basically. So say if anyone's tapping you on the legs, the best thing to do is I'm not going to say it's that easy because they all do feed slightly differently amongst themselves. If you're happy with that, Deborah, I'll make a start on the talk. Just say any questions, I'm right here. So, say if anything's not on you do want to probably many didn't very much yesterday. Right then folks, welcome along to penguin feeding time. Now, just whilst we're hand feeding the king penguins, we're going to ignore the Humboldt penguins as much as we can because although they're much, much smaller, the Humboldts bite about 12 times harder, and I'd really like Deborah to leave the enclosure at 3 o'clock with a full set of finger and thumb. So they're going to get fed in the pool at the end. And not all of the king penguins are going to eat that much today. It is a quiet time of year for them. They don't feel the cold, so they're not fattening up for winter. And we're a long way away from breeding season. So what they've been doing for the last couple of weeks is having 2 or 3 each and then walking off. So we'll see how we go with them today. But we're just going to take the chance this afternoon to tell you a little bit about penguins. And so the first thing to tell you all is that there are currently 17 different species. Now, all 17 types of penguin live in the southern hemisphere, and that basically just means that you'll find penguins living from as far south as the Antarctic to as far north as the equator. And the popular view is that penguins like it to be cold and snowy and icy to survive. That's not necessarily true. Now, you will find half the world's penguins where it is very cold around Antarctica and the Falklands, but the other half are found in much warmer climates. So there are 5 types of penguin that live around Australia and New Zealand right now. You find 3 species living around the coast of South America. There is an African penguin around South Africa and Namibia, and you even find 1 penguin living on the equator. There's the part, I'll just give her a bit. You'll even find 1 penguin living on the equator, where although the weather's very, very warm, the water temperature is very, very cold. There you are. It's alright, I don't trust her. She landed on the back of my head about 6 months ago and bit me quite hard, so it always makes me a little bit nervous. So not all penguins live where it's cold, and in terms of their size, most of the world's penguins are the size and shape of Ronald and Molly just down there. So about 1.5 foot tall, weighing about 3 to 5 kilos, and that is your typical penguin size. With the only exception to the size rule being our king penguins, who we're hand feeding right now, who are 2.5 feet tall. The king penguin is the 2nd largest penguin alive today. The biggest is their very, very close cousin, the emperor penguin. And the emperor is the one you'll have seen. Happy Feet was on over Christmas, so you'll know him from there. If you watch the Snow Chick, that was emperor penguins on there as well. And Frozen Planet in March of the Penguins will be emperors also. So you'll all probably know what an emperor penguin looks like, but what you might not appreciate from a TV screen is that on average an emperor penguin is up around about 4 feet tall, and they will weigh as much as 50 kilos. So they are a huge animal, and the reason why the emperor is so big is simply because no other bird alive today will think it's a good idea to lay its egg in the Antarctic winter. Now emperors will do it because they're big and bulky and they can survive that incredibly harsh environment. No other bird will be able to cope with that extreme cold weather, so that's why the emperors are so big. And right now we have a grand total of 30 penguins here at Birdland, and we have got 2 different species. So we have 18 Humboldt penguins just down here. They're found in the wild along the coastlines of Chile and Peru, and although you'll see them in zoos more than any other penguin today, they are one of the world's rarest species. Their numbers have been in decline now for a long time due to the effects of climate change. A lot of fish stocks have been reduced where they live, and a lot of their nest sites have been destroyed as well. So there's less than 50,000 Humboldts alive today, which sounds a reasonable number, but all it takes is one big earthquake or an oil slick and they could be in massive trouble. So our group here are part of a European breeding programme, which is essentially a backup. So should they get a massive knock in the wild, there are enough around